This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. This week, celebrating National Animal Disaster Preparedness Day, a veterinarian's private thoughts when they are with your pets, and a new source of healing comfort for your pets. That's what's on our show this week. Let's get started.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva show. Here's Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves, Francesca, Coco, and our newest little diva, Miss Olive. Miss Olive is the cute little Italian Greyhound rescue in the picture with the microphone. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. Email us at doggydivashow@aol.com. That's DOGGYDIVA show@aol.com. We love hearing from you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Tired of wasting money on giant bags, boxes, and jugs of litter that don't last? Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter that lets you use less and get more. World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to deliver outstanding odor control and easy cleanup. It's lightweight, 99% dust-free, and pet, people, and planet-friendly. It's even flushable. Make the switch to World's Best Cat Litter and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva show. We have with us Monica Leighton, owner of Professional Pet Sitting, and with our Pet Tip of the Week. And you know, Monica, every year we do our disaster preparedness show, which is late May, early June, because our hurricane season in Florida starts in June. But National Animal Disaster Preparedness Day is today. So could you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. And I so look forward to our shows on this, yearly. It's so important to pet owners to really be prepared for the storms. So what I usually tell people is right now is the time to go through your kits. Get rid of any old medications, get rid of any old food, refresh it with your new stuff. And make sure that if there's anything you're missing, now's the time to get it in there. And I know, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get into all the specifics on what you need to have in there, your pet's identification, different tips for evacuations, things of that nature. But right now is really the time to sit down and evaluate what you have, what you don't have. There's so many great things online as far as help with preparedness. And the other thing is really just starting your kit. If you have not started one yet, now's the time. Find something that is waterproof, a little Rubbermaid container. Start finding a crate or a cage that is portable that your pet can fit in. Start getting some of those bigger items done now. And that way you can go back and remember, do I need, does my pet eat canned food? Are they pop top lids? Do I need a can opener? So you need to have a manual can opener. Something that you don't require electricity for. Do I have water for X amount of time? Do I have food for X amount of time? Start going through your list, flashlight and batteries. Just now is the time to really start getting your house, your family, and your pets in order. And I so look forward to our our big hurricane awareness show, and we'll have so many tips for pet owners. But I just wanted to get it out there today since it is National, Animal Pet Preparedness Day, that now is the time to start. You do not want to get into hurricane season and have not, have the big essentials. Start your kit now. Make sure you have your crate and carriers, and start researching now what you have locally in your area that can help you. Do you have a pet-friendly shelter? Do you have veterinarians that'll take your pet in? Do you have a route that you're going to take or a place that you're going to stay? And in that, can you take your pets? Are they pet-friendly? Do you have your pets, vaccines up to date? Do you have an up-to-date picture of that pet? That way, if they get lost, make sure that all of that information is being gathered now. And we'll go through all of this in great detail over the next couple of weeks. But now's the time to really start preparing.
This is our 14th year doing the show. People always thank us for doing this. People wait for it to kind of like see if there's any new things to put in the kit, or also it reminds people what to do in the kit. And this is for all different kinds of animals, not only dogs. But today, May 12th, being National Animal Disaster Preparedness Day, gives us a chance. It sort of like sits in our mind going, okay, now should I go? I'm going to go through my kit, pull out any old food, pull out any old water, make sure that my the vaccinations are up to date. Make sure that, everything's in plastic. Have the extra harness, have the extra leash, all this stuff so you could go to your kit, because most people know where the kit is. If you don't, when you hear our show, you're going to get your kit together and you're not going to have to worry about anything. And you also have a lot of other great advice. But this is a great time to check out your kit, make sure your pet's microchip is, that you're in the right location. If you've moved, you might want to update it. But there's so much to today. And also when we have our show, which is going to be just in a few weeks. So thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.
Coming up, have you ever wondered what veterinarians think in their most private moments with the animals? Stay tuned.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. You know how we love bringing you inspirational, pet-themed books and authors. Well, we have with us today a heartwarming debut novel from Suzy Fincham-Gray, My Patients and Other Animals, a veterinarian story of love, loss, and hope. And Suzy brings the reader in the consulting room and behind the scenes and in these complex, challenging situations that veterinarians face, as well as she tells us inspirational and heartwarming stories of her patients, their pet parents, and of her own pets. So we want to welcome with us today the author of My Patients and Other Animals, Suzy Fincham-Gray. Hey, Suzy, welcome to the Doggy Diva Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be talking with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be talking with you. Can you tell the listeners about yourself and about how writing has impacted your veterinary career?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm an internal medicine specialist for small animals, which means that, and the story of how I get to this place is in the book, but it means that I take care of cats and dogs with more complicated medical problems. So, which is something which I love doing. It's an incredible career. It's an incredible sort of calling that I have to do this work, but sometimes it's really emotionally difficult, which also I think I touch on in the book. And what I found through my writing is that I've been able to sort of figure out those complex emotional situations, and I've been able to look at things in a new way through writing. So when I sit down and I start to write about a case maybe that is difficult, either from a professional standpoint of figuring out what's wrong, or more from an emotional standpoint of dealing with an animal that's really sick, I suddenly see things in a different way. And so that's been really amazing, and something that I never expected from writing, that it would give me this new view and this new idea about what it is that I do every day.
And I appreciate that you took us kind of behind the scenes and everything, but I'm sure the listeners can tell from your accent that you are from the UK, but you now live in the US. Can you just tell a little bit about that transition?
Yeah. So I grew up in a small town called Hereford, which is in England, and it's right on the Welsh border, so sort of in the west of England. And it's a really rural area, a lot of farming, a lot of sheep, cows. The Hereford cow, which is you see it a lot all over the place, actually. There's a lot in the U.S., is actually from my hometown, so it's a small trivia point. And I went to vet school in London, and then when I was at vet school, I realized that I was really interested in internal medicine. And at the time, there weren't a lot of opportunities in the UK to do more advanced training. And so I came over to the U.S. in 2000 to the University of Pennsylvania to do an internship and then a residency in internal medicine. And that was a pretty incredible change. There was sort of a real culture shock, even though, of course, you would think that England and the U.S. aren't that different. But in actuality, when you start to get down to the nitty-gritty of drugs and all those sorts of things, it's very, very different. The drugs that are available, the names of the drugs, sometimes even if it's the same drug, it is different. And so that was really stepping into the lion's den a little bit when I first came over the first months of my internship. And then, I had always planned to go back home, but somehow 17 years later, I'm now living in San Diego with my family, and I still have all my extended family back in the UK. So it's nice. I get to visit a lot, and they get to come and see the San Diego sunshine, which they love. And so somehow this journey has brought me here, even though I never would have guessed in a million years that, even 10 years ago that I would still be in the U.S., but I love it.
We're so glad you're here, because obviously you've impacted where you are. We're in San Diego. You also, in your book, which brings this very personal side to it, which kind of shows a different side of our veterinarian, which is with their own pets. Can you just tell us briefly about your pets?
Yes,
and we don't want to give anything away on any pets in the book.
So what's really interesting is, and it's a little strange, I'm sure most people are surprised when I say this, but when I grew up, we really didn't have any pets in our house in England. It just wasn't really part of our family, but it was something that I found a pet rock along the way, and had many pet adventures with stuffed animals and such. So when I got to the U.S. in 2000, I came without any pets, and I very quickly acquired my first cat, and he was just amazing. I won't say too much because he is in the book. He is a star of the show in the book. So, but he's amazing. And since then, sort of fast forwarding, 16, 17 years, I now have a full-time family of, at the moment we have 3 cats and 2 dogs. So, it's a ever-rotating show, which, of animal craziness, but I love it. And they really, my own pets have taught me a lot about that other side of veterinary medicine, which is, of course, the pet parents. And so being so involved in the lives of my patients and also their parents, it's really shown me from the other side as well, when my animals have got sick, how it really feels to be in that position and how hard that is.
Well, and I have to tell you, because of what you talked about your pets and about how they affected your life and your perspective on things, that really helped me to see how that other side of the our veterinarian is that personal side. But I have to tell you, there's something else that here I am, a person in rescue for years. I learned so much about international adoptions, and I learned this from your book. Can you please tell the listeners about the risks and rewards of international pet adoptions? Because I think that, and there is a lot going on out there now, and it's far more open than it was before, but also it's kind of eye-opening what you brought up in your book.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, international pet adoption, I think really over the last 5 to 10 years, I would say, has become increasingly common in the U.S. And we can now adopt animals from almost any country, and which is great because we're saving animal lives, which is absolutely always a good thing. But there definitely are some risks with regards to the diseases that they can bring with them that we may not know about. And so, what's really interesting about disease is that it's very geographical. And what I mean by that is that in different areas, even of the country in the U.S., but then obviously in the world, there are different diseases. And so sometimes when we adopt an animal from a different country, we're not really aware of what those diseases may be, and then what the implications of those might be for sort of the future of that animal's life, and if they get sick, what we really should be looking for. And so that's something that I find fascinating, because disease is just so incredible. The organisms and how they get where they get and how they survive is sort of really fascinating. But also, it's something which, when we adopt an animal from overseas, it's really important that we know about that history of where they've come from, and sort of where they were rescued from geographically, but then also the situation that they were in, because that can really influence and inform my problem solving as a veterinarian if for some reason that animal were to get sick. And so it's amazing that we can do this, and we can save these animals from really, really terrible situations. But we also need to be aware that they can carry things with them that we need to then be aware of if in the future they get sick, because that could be the reason why is something they picked up, thousands of miles away.
Well, and that was so important. It's important to bring that forward, because I think sometimes, when we're working with our veterinarians, certainly as I'm reading, about what different things that you uncovered, it would be nothing that I would ever expect. I mean, it was very, very eye-opening, so that, to keep ahead of this, and the pet parents and patients were very, very lucky they had you, because you do a lot of research and you do figure things out. Can you tell the listeners about being a veterinary specialist, and why sometimes it's important that we as pet parents have to go to a vet specialist, a vet care specialist?
Yeah, so veterinary specialists have advanced training, which means that we have completed an internship and then a residency in our specialties that we're qualified in. And then once we've done the training, we also have to do board exams to become a diplomat of the college in which we're a specialist. And so there are many, I think there's now maybe 57 specialties, I want to say, that are recognized, and thousands of specialists across the U.S., ranging from behavior specialists to dental specialists to internal medicine, surgery, oncology, pretty much any specialist that you would see as a human, you can see with your pet as well these days. And the advantage of that special training and what we do as specialists is that we have a very specific focus. And so I'm the first to admit that I do not know very much about flea treatment, because there are so many flea meds out there these days, and it's like a constantly rotating schedule of flea meds, and that's something that general veterinarians are way better at knowing about than I am. But what I know about are the things that are very specifically focused on internal medicine. And so sometimes there are cases, or there are pets who need special help in a particular area. So maybe, for example, as an internal medicine specialist, I see a lot of animals with diabetes, a lot of animals with kidney problems or liver problems or sort of chronic intestinal problems that aren't getting resolving with sort of the standard care that a general veterinarian can give. And at that point, that's when I can step in as a specialist and really kind of focus in on the specific issue and try to get to the bottom of it and try to figure out, number one, what's going on, and then number two, what we can do about it. And so specialists definitely, I think, have an increasing role in our pets' care as pet insurance becomes more popular and, pet owners are integrating their animal family into their human family, we're finding the role of specialists is becoming more and more important. And it's something which I think really allows us to spend more time. So, for example, when I see an owner and they come to see me as a client, I spend usually, over an hour just talking to them about what's going on with their pet and getting the history, which is a real luxury that, often in general practice, you're not able to do that because you just simply have too many patients. And so that's something which sets the specialist apart a little bit because we do have a little bit more of that time and that focus. And so that's something which, can really benefit and can really complement what general practice veterinarians do. And we can, we often work together as a team to help our patients in that way.
You also give great insight into the senior pets. Can you discuss a little bit about this? I happen to adopt. I take senior pets and I take disabled pets. Can you discuss a little bit about the special needs of senior pets?
Yeah, it's really an area that I love. I really love seeing geriatric cats and dogs. And what's really interesting is that we're seeing a whole sort of new population of geriatric cats and dogs who 10 years ago even weren't living as long as they are today. And so that's amazing. We want our pets to live as long as they possibly can, but also it brings with it a whole new set of challenges when it comes to providing care for our pets and providing health care for them as well, and sort of making those decisions about when is an older pet sick versus the natural aging process. That's something that can be very challenging sometimes in our pets as they age. And I think as well, the other thing that's incredibly important is when they are sick, really trying to identify their quality of life and how that may influence what we decide to do with regards to care for them and treatment for them as they near the ends of their lives.
Well, and that kind of brings me to my next question. In your book, you're very open, you're very honest and compassionate about something that probably is the worst thing that a pet parent wants to hear or have to deal with, which is euthanasia. Can you please share with the listeners about what our pets actually can tell us about this euthanasia debate?
Yes, absolutely. And that is such a good point, because we do need our pets to tell us about when they're not feeling good and about when their quality of life is not so good. And sometimes those changes and sometimes those signs can be incredibly subtle. It's a conversation that I have a lot, and it's something which continues to be very important in my career and is always at the forefront of my mind, is sort of that idea that pets, we need to kind of advocate for them, and and if we listen to what they're telling us, we often can know more about what their quality of life is like than maybe we would understand on the surface. And so I think that our pets are so important and so integrated into our families and are part of our families. When we're making these decisions about healthcare and about tough choices at the end of life, it's like doing the same for a family member, for a human family member. And so it's something which I think we have to really be an advocate for our pets and not necessarily an advocate for ourselves. And what I mean by that is it is an incredibly difficult decision to make, as you said, and it's something that none of us want to do. But unfortunately, all of us as pet owners will probably be faced with at some point in our pet-loving lives. And it's something which, we need to take ourselves a little out of that equation when we're looking for the right thing to do for our pets, because it's really, really difficult when we love our pets as much as we do to make a decision that's incredibly hard. But we need to think about how our pets are really feeling from a physical standpoint, and not make a decision that is right for us, but make a decision that's right for them. And that's something that I think is very important, that I think about a lot, every day when I'm seeing patients. I think about trying to make the decisions that are best for pets, which is it sounds like something we would always do, but it's something that in reality is incredibly difficult because we love them so much.
Absolutely. And again, in your book, you really touched upon it, and you did it in a very ethical and yet compassionate way. But where can our listeners go to learn more about you and to learn more about My Patients and Other Animals?
Yeah, so I have a website. My website is my name, which always causes confusion. Fincham is always difficult to spell, but my website is SuzyFincham-Gray.com. I am on Facebook as Suzy Fincham-Gray author, and if you follow me on Facebook, then I always try to post little interesting pet snippets that I've read, and the latest information about where I might be doing a book signing or speaking or just links to incredible radio shows like this one. All that information is going to be on my website and on Facebook.
Well, I want to thank you for being with us today. I mean, I love your book. It was so, as I keep saying, it was heartwarming, introspective, and it's a real ethical look at the role that a veterinarian's life is all about, actually. And I want to remind the readers that the book is My Patients and Other Animals. And I want to thank you for being a guest on our show today. And I also want to thank you, Suzy, for all that you are doing for the pets and for the pet parents in this book. It was a very, very good read. I really recommend it. My Patients and Other Animals by Suzy Fincham-Gray. I can guarantee that you're going to look at your vets in a totally different way. You're going to see that other side of them, because it's a very introspective, very, very good book.
Thank you so much. And, you saying that just is incredible to me, because that was exactly one of the things I wanted to really do with this book, was just show people maybe a little different side of being a vet and how it is for us, as veterinarians. And so for you to say that you got that from the book is really touching and very meaningful to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, thank you for writing this book. It was very good. And I read a lot of animal books, and I'm telling you, this was very heartfelt. I could feel it, and very enlightening.
Thank you so much.
I learned a lot from it. So thank you so much, and you have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, we'll be back in just a moment. Hi, Doggy Diva Show listeners. Susan Marie here to take just a half a minute to let you know how much we appreciate your being with us every week to hear great dog tips you can use with your pet, some great stories about rescues, fostering, and some heartwarming stories about second chances for pets who are now in loving forever homes. Be sure to go to our website, thedoggydiva.com, to see pictures of Miss Olive and other dogs we talk about on the show and get to know us a little better. That's thedoggydiva.com, DOGGY. We appreciate your feedback too. Okay, let's get back to the show. Coming up, a new source of healing and comfort for your pets. Stay tuned.
Listeners, I'd love to introduce you to PetPlate.com. They deliver freshly cooked human-grade dog food right to your door. I'm talking about dog food that is so high quality that even us humans could, technically, eat it. I've been feeding PetPlate to my pup for the last 2 weeks, and it's perfect for my picky pup, and perfect for me since I'm so busy. So if you want something super healthy, really tasty, and ready to serve, go to petplate.com/spot to get 30% off your first box. Once again, that's petplate.com/spot to get 30% off your first box. petplate.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. We are so happy to welcome back a truly successful entrepreneur in the pet industry. She's the CEO and founder of not one, but 2 successful companies. And her success has been rooted in first identifying a problem and then finding innovative ways to solve it. And she is helping pets and pet parents everywhere. We want to welcome back to the Dog Diva Show the founder and first company to create PCR hemp ball infused products for pets, which are so popular now. We want to welcome back Julianna Carella, the CEO and founder of Treatibles. Hey, Julianna, how are you?
I'm great. Great to be back on the show, and thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and it's amazing how when you were our guest last time to where you are now, the awareness and the education and, the people know the benefit of what your treats are. So first off, because you are such a success and, and I love to have a female on who has a phenomenal success story, and you certainly have one. Can you please tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
So I started a company called Auntie Dolores back in 2008, which is a cannabis company. We're one of the oldest cannabis companies in the world. And when we first started, we were making edibles for human beings, mostly THC focused, because, of course, at the time, nobody really knew much about CBD. A few years later, we became more aware of CBD. We'd heard that they were giving this to children with epilepsy, that it was non-psychoactive, and it had all these health benefits. We started to have our cultivators in California grow some of these particular cannabis strains that were rich in this other component. And we started to get requests back in 2011 and 2012 from the patients that were using our human product line. Some of these people were asking if they could give these same products to their animals, and we knew enough about those products to know that they were not appropriate for animals. So we really set out to create a product line that was suitable for animals, that contained the non-psychoactive components of the plant and the beneficial components that were appropriate for animals. So we were in a unique position with our cultivators in California to actually be able to grow these particular plants that were very specific and quite different use and outcome. So that's really how Treatibles got its start. We started working with the dispensaries in California, and now here we are, 5 years later, because Treatibles was founded in 2013. Now our product is sold across the country and also in Canada. We're in over 2,000 pet stores. Veterinarians carry the product. We've got breeders, groomers, all types of animal practitioners using the product in their practices and in their businesses. And it's been fantastic.
Well, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because it has. Just in the last time we've spoken, it's grown and the awareness has grown so much. I knew people who I personally knew who were questioning me when you're on. They're like, "Oh, now can you tell me about that? I don't understand it." To now their pets are on it and they fully understand it and they see the benefits of it. And and it's true, like what I said, you identify the problem and then you solve the problem. Now, can you tell the listeners about Treatibles and how they benefit our pets? Because there are some specific things that our pets have, illnesses our pets have, or conditions our pets have that they specifically address.
Well, I think we should take a couple steps back, if we could, and just talk a little bit about the science, because that's obviously very important here. All animals have an endocannabinoid system, which is a receptor system in their body. It's similar to the human endocannabinoid system, but as it turns out, animals are more sensitive in many ways than humans, and dogs would be the most sensitive because they just happen to have the highest number of receptors in their body and their brain. So animals are particularly sensitive to these chemicals. This is why THC can be so toxic to animals, especially dogs. At the same token, it also points to how efficacious the other components of the plant that are suitable for animals, just how efficacious they can and are. So this is really where we see, what's appropriate for animals and how it affects their systems when they take these chemicals in. Cannabinoids are essentially chemicals that we in our animals' bodies produce naturally. When we don't produce enough of them, it's advisable to take it in from the outside, and that's where the cannabis and the hemp plant comes in. It's almost like being vitamin deficient and needing to take in vitamins to satisfy that deficiency. It's the same thing with our endocannabinoid system. If we or our animals are not producing enough of these cannabinoids to satisfy the receptor system, to provide the homeostasis that is very much involved with the endocannabinoid system, to provide the neuroprotection and all of the different features of these chemicals and what they provide for our physiology and our animals' physiology, taking these products in from the plant actually helps our natural responses and our animals' natural responses. So really we're addressing homeostasis, we're addressing all these other systems in the body and in our animals' bodies that are affected by the endocannabinoid system. So that was a long-winded way of basically saying that these chemicals do really good things for us and our animals. And it brings our systems back in place. It makes our nervous system act more efficiently. It makes our immunity more efficient. It makes everything work better, basically. So this is why we're seeing conditions like anxiety are addressed with phytocannabinoids, because they go straight to the receptor system and balance it, removing anxiety and removing the neurological involvement that produces the anxiety. Right? So anxiety is the number one condition that we can work with cannabinoids. And the second condition is inflammation and arthritis, joint pain. All of these things are also very much affected by the endocannabinoid system. And again, you're just giving the system something that it needs already. And we see a lot of amelioration with joint pain and inflammation of any kind, hip dysplasia. All of these conditions that our animals suffer with are, the cannabinoids are fantastic for that. So those are the two, large groups of customers that are using our product. Of course, it's also beneficial for seizures. As your listeners probably know, CBD is undergoing FDA approval right now with a pharmaceutical company in the UK is developing epilepsy medicine for children with CBD, because it's now a well-known fact that CBD and other cannabinoids are beneficial for seizures. It's also beneficial for cancer and the side effects of cancer treatment. The list goes on and on. I mean, the endocannabinoid system is really has a lot to do with our physiology, and this is why these chemicals can address so many different conditions, and they're beneficial for so many different species.
Can you talk about like the other ingredients? I mean, the ingredients that go into this, because as you said, it's like almost an entire nutritional composition.
Yeah, and these products are really more supplement in nature. They're not food products. They're supplement type products. They're really supposed to be used more like a nutraceutical. Mm-hmm. Our popular products are our droppers and our capsules and our hard chews. We've got hard chews for dogs. They contain turmeric as well, which is obviously another active ingredient that addresses inflammation. The combination of the turmeric, which the active ingredient in turmeric is curcumin. The combination of curcumin with the cannabinoids is phenomenal for, all the joint issues that our animals experience. So, yeah, we're always interested in adding other ingredients that work well with the cannabinoids, but actually the cannabinoids by themselves have such phenomenal results too. And our dropper bottles can also be used as a topical, so for animals with any kind of skin conditions, it works fantastic for that.
And I think that this is what's coming out, Julianna, since I said that since the last time I spoke with you, when we spoke last time, I think that it was something kind of new and people were like going, well, wow, how does that relate to me? And people are starting to like jump totally on board and they see the benefits of this. So where can the listeners go to learn more about you? Number one, I mean, you're a tremendous success. And where can they learn more about Treatibles and where to purchase them? them? I know that you're now you are everywhere. I mean, it seems as though you're in so many retailers now.
Yeah, and the product is actually made from the cannabinoids that are derived from the hemp plant, so it's got different limitations than if we were to be producing this product from cannabis. So being that it's derived from hemp means that we can sell it across the country. If you visit our website, Treatibles.com, and it's spelled Treatibles.com, you can visit our store locator to see where in your area the product might be available. You're also welcome to order directly from us. We're, obviously filling orders all day long. Our product ships all over the world. So that's how your listeners can find us. There's a lot of educational information on our website. We're very big on education because we understand that there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of misconceptions. And we're interested in just sticking to the facts and also presenting all of the information that our customers give back to us. We have over 1,000 product reviews on our website. Very informative. These reviews tell us exactly what's happening with the product and the customers that are using it. We've got testimonials on our website. So if any of your listeners are interested in finding out what other pet guardians are experiencing, that's probably the best place to go for that. Additionally, we're very big on transparency because we understand that, legally there's not a lot of regulations around these types of products yet. And we, in a certain sense, have to be self-regulated, which means we lab test every step of the way in the production of this product, and we share these lab tests with our customers because we want them to understand exactly what they're getting in the product. We also want them to know that it's free of heavy metals, it's free of biocontaminants, and all of those other dangerous things that can show up in products when, the producers are not conscientious about the end result. So these are all things that are really important to us with our relationship with our customers. We're a company that believes in phenomenal customer service. We actually answer the phone when our customers call us, and in many cases we spend a good amount of time talking to them to explain to them how they can use the product to help their animals.
Well, and I'm sure that part of that, because of your customer service, your vast amount of knowledge on this, and that's helped to make your company so successful. I mean, it's grown so much. And like I said, you're like the first to ever get it out there. And I'm so happy that you came back on our show. I'm so happy that you did fill in the listeners. There's probably so much that they want to know because, as I said, veterinarians have talked to me about it. People that I know, people that I'm close to have talked to me about it. And the benefits to the animals is amazing. So I'm so glad that you took the time to come back and talk to our listeners about it. Again, to find out more about Julianna or Treatibles or any of this, there's so much information. It's Treatibles.com and find out where you can purchase them and talk to your vet about them. And I am sure that you will be glad that you did. So again, thank you so much for being on our show again. And Julianna, thank you so much for all that you're doing for pets and for pet parents out there.
Absolutely. We're happy to do it. We love this mission, and it just gets better and better as the world becomes more aware of, these fantastic opportunity that comes from this plant to heal our animals and ourselves. It's just a really fantastic thing.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all the work that you're doing. And hopefully we'll get you back on. We can even talk about this some more. I'm sure that if we talk next year, there'll be more people will know about it. So
sounds good.
Thank you again, and you have a great day.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll be back in just a moment.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your cat tree tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
In honor of Mother's Day this weekend, Miss Olive and all of us here at the Doggy Diva Show wish both human and pet moms a very happy Mother's Day. We would like to thank our guests this week, and also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally. And please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of the Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.